Okay, I send the link to you.
All right. Oh, wow. Yeah, the Viagra's working. Cool.
Ah!
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you sending that.
That was very graphic, Jason.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh my God, you're gay? John, me too. This is awesome. This is a cool episode.
So that thing we were talking about a minute ago, that's a possibility.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. Welcome to Dysfunctional Adults, the comedy podcast in which we discuss weird news, pop culture, and being middle-aged dads. Yeah. We are bitter, cynical Gen Xers saddled with crippling debt and depressingly past our primes. But that's what makes this podcast so much fun.
You got a good voice, man.
Mm-hmm.
That weren't me. It's my twin brother. Sack. S-A-C-K. Sack. Yeah.
Zeke.
He's the evil one, obviously.
Obviously.
Zeke was my dog in junior high.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Zach, Zeb, and Zeke, because my parents hated us. They wanted...
Except for Zeke. They love Zeke.
Yeah, no, they loved Zeke. And Zeke didn't know that the middle-aged middle school kids were making fun of him and me.
Oh. See, my wife actually wanted to do the same thing. Like, when we had the twins, she's like, hey, wouldn't it be cute if we named them all a name that starts with the same letter? A, no, that's dumb when parents do that. And B, if you're going to do that, you can't name your first kid a name that starts with a Z. Because we already had Zach, our son Zach. And no offense to your brother Zeb, but Zach is about the only good Z boy's name there is. So, I mean, there's what, like Zeb, Zeke,
Xander.
Xander.
Yeah. Xander with an X is like powerful, though. You know?
You really run out of names fast when you have multiple sons and you want to name them all something that begins with a Z.
Yeah.
So we just went with South Park and named them Eric and Kyle instead.
Perfect. That's great. They probably talk like that, don't they?
I wish. I didn't even realize that when we named them, though. My brother told me later, he's like, so you named them after South Park, huh? I think about it's like, ah, damn it. Eric
Awesome.
Cartman and Kyle Broflovsky or whatever.
Yep.
They just need Stan now and
Stan
Kenny
and Kenny.
and Butters.
Well, time to make another baby.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Well, this is a very special episode. I've got John here in my basement, this time voluntarily.
I'm going to need you guys to... There's your hands.
aren't
I was
even
just
tied
going
up.
to ask. I just
No zip ties.
want to know
I am
what...
here of my free will. There's no handcuffs, no ropes, no zip ties.
That's what he asked me, like, when I asked him to drive up here tonight, and he did it. He's my hero because I promised my kids I'd spend more time with them tomorrow night. He's like, first of all, I need to know that you don't own any zip ties right now. I told him no, but that's a lie, as he'll find out here in about 20 minutes.
I'll hear just like a zip, and he'll be like, oh, come on.
It's like, damn it!
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to need to see your hands too, Jason, because I don't know what you're doing.
I'm playing with myself under the table.
Okay.
He is.
Get right to it.
I can vouch. I can vouch for that.
At first, I'm like, with John here, it's going to be kind of weird, but I'm actually okay with it now.
Oh. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to add to that.
There's a point where nothing shocks you around Jason anymore.
That's true.
No. It still makes
Just
me
walk
turn
in
red.
here, it's like, oh,
like-
Jason's naked again.
Yeah.
It must be a Wednesday,
You've only known him since what? Kindergarten?
Fifth grade.
Fifth, yeah, I mean, same intelligence level, but yeah, fifth grade, whatever. Fifth grade.
It was funny. My wife, Megan, told me that her mom was going to drop by sometime this week or next week. I can't remember when. So I said, okay, well, I'll just start answering the door naked.
And you
So I
did.
appreciate that. So there's a couch over there, John. You see that couch?
That's where you're sleeping.
That's my bed right now. So.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, that's the casting couch. Now get over there and show me what you can do.
Well, it's on her for thinking you were joking.
Yeah.
And then it happens, and she freaks out, and you're like, "Dude, I told you I was doing
I
it.
warned you.
You're the one who didn't believe me."
Okay, pie. I'm gonna go like this. Yep, it's your own fault. Well, how's everybody been? What's going on? What you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little punch drunk tonight. John's power's out, which is why he's over here in my house.
Right, and he's just
Yeah.
regular drunk, and he drove all the way to your house. So great.
Yeah, he's a trooper. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
So
I was just hoping he was gonna be like, why don't you guys go on without me, and then we would have like the best show of our entire career. I'm just kidding. Of course, I'm kidding.
Oh,
This is almost
Aw,
like
I
old
love you,
times.
John. Yeah, almost. Wouldn't you like freak out if you saw my face behind you also? But that would be SACK, S-A-C-K, so it's not a big deal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, things are good. I'm a little punch drunk tonight, I think, which is perfect for this whole podcasting thing.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I went and saw Ghostbusters without anybody else in this room being there.
well, that's a coincidence because I saw it as well. I saw it with my wife and a female friend of ours, and then her absolute tool of a husband. I mean, you should have seen this loser. I mean, this guy was a complete douchebag.
Megan's dating someone else.
Yes, Jason.
She has a type.
He was also wearing a weird hat.
Well, this is my embarrassment hat. Like I literally wore this to lunch one day when Megan and I went out with some friends, and I thought it was funny, and my other two friends thought it was funny. I don't think Megan thought it was pretty funny. But
Well, she's the one who's married to you.
yeah, she's got a good sense of humor. I'm not saying she doesn't, but so I threatened to wear this hat. It's like my only leverage in this relationship. Don't make me get the hat.
I'll plug the sex alarm back in if you're not careful.
But yeah, my son Benjamin bought this a couple of Christmases ago for me. I think he kind of knows what I like. So
yeah,
but, yeah. So, but we went and saw Ghostbusters. It was really good. I liked it a lot. I thought it was
I liked it.
even better than Afterlife.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Definitely.
And that main girl is actually rumored to be in the lead for the Zelda role in the Legend of Zelda movie. Phoebe.
Huh.
She looks totally
Phoebe from Friends,
different
huh?
in real life. What? No, it's from Entertainment Tonight,
Oh.
which I am friends with that show. So. But yeah, she looks like she's blonde and doesn't look anything like her character.
Yeah.
So I think she'll make a good Zelda.
Nice. And Zelda's the dude with the sword, right?
Yep.
Yep.
That's Zelda.
That's Zelda. Yeah.
So, I do have one kind of interesting happening that happened. So I don't know how to take this. I think it's proof that my wife and I are like meant for each other, because she actually literally continued my dream for me last night. Like we both had dreams, separate dreams, and I told her mine. And I don't know what order they actually happened in, but I told her mine first, and then she told me hers. It was like a sequel to her dream.
Huh.
So basically in my dream, and this is weird. So I got another woman pregnant. And
Again.
I've done that in my dream before.
yeah, but this is like a woman I know in real life. And I won't name names, but Megan also knows this person. And,
I didn't know she
so
met
in
my
my
mom.
dream,
Anyway, sorry, keep going.
I'd gotten this lady pregnant, and it was all like weird, and of course it kind of became like a sister wives thing. Well, because the way the conversation starts, like, Megan, I've got a crazy dream to tell you. You're not, and she's like, I've got one too. I'm like, well, I bet mine's going to top yours. And so I told her, and she's just looking at me. She's like, I had a dream that me and this other woman were both pregnant, and we were having our babies at the same time in our bedroom where you also were sleeping.
Well, yeah, you got to be there for the birth of both your children.
But
Yeah.
it's the same person. And I'm like, what?
I think it's a sign, my friend. It's
I think
a
so.
sign.
You got to call this woman and float the idea.
Try to
by
start
her.
polygamy again, you know?
See what she thinks.
So it was super weird, and I was kind of freaked out, like, okay, but I don't know, just we're on the same wavelength, I think. I don't know, our weirdness has coalesced into one weird thing. So
Is anybody else going to point out the weirdness of your dreams and your wife's dreams in general? Just all the dreams you tell us are a little bit odd.
Yeah, they are weird. In my defense, I take lots of psychiatric medications.
Yeah, and there's probably, in that basement, there's probably a radon leak or something. It's fine.
Yeah, and that radon detector's light's been flashing since we moved in, but whatever.
Yeah,
So,
probably a low battery. It's fine.
but anyway, super weird. Super weird. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
All right.
Yay, polygamy.
Yay. Well, if you start doing that, I'll come back. I want to be one of your wives. Well,
I'm already like, what? What's the score? I've failed one marriage and I've got this one. So
well,
Well, we're all divorced, all three of us. We all
That's
have
fair.
a failed marriage.
yeah, but I'm the one who learned the first time.
I'm just saying that I don't think I could handle more than one wife at the same time because
No.
apparently I'm not great at this whole marriage thing. So
What have I been doing? They went ahead and totaled my car, and I'm very sad. Just found out.
Car Saga Part 3.
Yeah, I know. This is the most interesting story our listeners have ever had to listen to is the car saga.
Well, I like the part where you got all like meth high, like contact high with the meth.
Something,
You
man.
know?
Yeah, it
You
affected
didn't tell
me.
our listeners that you wrote like several plays in an opera like that night.
Well, Netflix picked them up. So,
Nice.
yeah, I'm
There's
done
like a
with this
checkbox
shit.
on their submission page. Is like, was this written while you were under the influence of methamphetamines? You're like, yes.
And they're like, good.
So they fast tracked it.
Yeah, this will be great. Yeah. So I found out like yesterday that they were totaling it. So I was sad. And then this morning, they sent me the paperwork telling me how much they were going to give me for it. And it pays off the loan. They gave me more than I expected, honestly. I thought I was going to have to use my gap coverage to pay off the rest of the loan. But
You get to keep the car.
no, I
Oh,
did
really?
basically selling it to the insurance. And then I just signed the power of attorney and the
Salvage title.
not the salvage title, just the bill of sale. So I signed those, and they'll pay off the loan and then send me the rest. But it's still, nothing compared to what I paid into it principal wise. So it's just kind of a bummer. But looking around for another car, and I think I might have found one. But yeah, it's not a very interesting story.
Just skip the part where it's been stolen and flushed with meth, and just buy one already like it.
Right. Well, I was thinking about that. I'm like, why can't they just find the exact car I have? I mean, it's going to be a little different. It'll probably, hopefully, be pink. But if I'm cool with that. But replace it. That's really what I want. That's what the insurance would mean to me. Is just giving me what I had. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. You know how it is. So instead of talking about that sadness, I put episode 2. The original episode 2, like Humble Beginnings, episode 2 of our first season into my AI friend transcription service. And I've got a quick, fun little thing. Let's see here. So with that one, the synopsis wasn't very good, so I didn't copy it. It basically just said that we are, sad people, Gen Xers, our butts hurt, whatever. So I went straight to the topics. So the topics of the podcast is it's a comedy podcast. One of the topics is microaggressions, entertainment, Hulu login. Hulu login, right? Inappropriate content, that's fair.
That's
Did
spot
it
on.
mention microaggressions because we were talking about them or we were committing them?
I imagine we've committed them throughout the entire show, but I do believe Jason said something about microaggressions at one point at the beginning of the episode. I can't remember. I didn't listen to it. And then it gives me another synopsis. The podcast is about two middle-aged men discussing their experiences and opinions on entertainment culture and being dads. They are cynical and critical of popular culture and often use humor to express their views. They also discuss their own struggles and challenges as fathers and the microaggressions they experience from their children. The podcast often touches on topics such as I got to read that again. The podcast often touches on topics such as pornography, television shows, and movies.
wrong.
Like, that's the whole podcast. Pornography, TV.
Our daily porn segment.
Well, it's not wrong.
So then it goes into the topics again, for whatever reason. Entertainment, microaggressions. It's really obsessed. New hobbies, upcoming TV shows and movies, judicial system. We got real political there for a second. Facebook page and future of the podcast. It seems like last time we also discussed the future of the podcast. It's like the first episode and the second episode, and both times we're like, I don't know if this is going to work, guys. I don't think we have a future. And then
Kinda like a
this,
first date, right? You know?
exactly. And then so this last part is person's name. Jason, person's name. Zach, person's name. Jon, person's name. Sean, person's name. We have a ghost, you know. Person's name, Charlie. Product name, hardcore pornography. So that's what we're selling. We're selling hardcore. And then the other product is sundress with little flower prints right after hardcore pornography. And that just really isn't, that's not kosher.
Where does that come from?
I think it comes from, oh no, my mistake. Back up. This isn't the second episode. This is the first episode because I said, I'm a 10-year-old girl. And you said, yeah, he has a sundress with little flower prints on it. That's where that came from. So this is the first episode. My mistake.
That's awesome.
So,
awesome.
and then, yeah, that was it for those. So I just thought that was that's more of what I've been doing is still trying to find a transcription service.
That's awesome, though. I love how that became a bit.
It became my what am I doing because I'm not doing anything but sad things that make people cry.
And microaggressions.
And microaggressions. And hardcore pornography.
Well, we knew that.
How about you, Jon?
Top that.
Well, I can't top that.
You can be the top.
But I've recently been selling some stuff on KSL to, make some extra money. And one thing that goes hand in hand with selling stuff online nowadays is scammers.
Oh, yeah.
You ever try and sell stuff online? You get like responses to buy your stuff, but you can tell right away they're scammers.
Yeah. Hello, dear.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I posted a canvas painting online, and within like 30 seconds of posting it, I get this response. Hello, 5-panel Ocean Horizon professional canvas painting. Is this available? I said, yes, it is. And they said, okay, I am interested, but for surely. Sent you a verify code. If you are actual, send me the code. Most of the fake.
Most of the fake.
Can I send the code?
Oh, my hell.
I said, sounds kind of sus, dog. And he says, what? I said, I'm not sending you a code, dude. It's a real posting. Do you want to come see it? And I did not hear back from there.
Oh, bummer.
But even when I responded back and offered to throw in a treasure map to a chest of hidden Aztec gold for free, he still did not respond back. I had a similar one when I tried to sell my car, my old van, a couple months back. They wanted like a Carfax, but they only wanted it from a specific website, and only if I clicked on the link they sent.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, man, I can't do that. So, yeah, they did not end up buying the car, and this person did not end up buying that painting.
Or getting the treasure map.
Yeah.
Yeah, or getting the treasure chest of Aztec gold. I
The
would have
fact that you
totally
were giving that away,
brought
though,
him one.
like, how do you not have time to go grab that real quick? Anyway, if you're selling it, I'll buy it. That's all I'm saying.
Speaking of scams, have you guys heard of or gotten the
Or perpetrated.
the have you heard of the hitman scam or the cartel scam?
Mm.
This one happened to me like a year and a half ago, and no, it was like seriously terrifying.
Oh, it was like a...
Oh, they have your family kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of like
Oh.
I don't know how they got my information, like probably from something I bought online or something. But like out of the blue, this is summer of 2022, and my wife was out of town on a work trip, so it was just me and the kids. And I get this text out of the blue with like my first and last name. It lists my address. And then they start texting like saying, you owe us a lot of money. You said you've been messing with our girls. You've been wasting their time. You've cost us a lot of money. We're coming after you. And then they send you like Google Map pictures of your house. They send like lists of your relatives that I'm sure they pull offline.
Right.
They say like, you better pay us back or you're gonna wish you were never born. They said they were with MS-13, which is, I looked it up. It's like
a cartel gang.
It's a cartel gang from like El Salvador or something.
Yeah.
They said like, we're gonna make you our top priority. We're coming at you with everything we had. We're gonna kill you. We're gonna wish you were dead. And I when I first started, I'm like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then they just keep coming back with more and more text, more names of relatives. We're gonna kill your whole family, all that kind of stuff. And then they started sending pictures, like graphically violent pictures of like mutilated bodies.
Jesus.
Like they sent pictures of like headless corpses with their heads resting on their stomachs. And they sent like a video of people getting shot in the head, like execution style. They look like real videos.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I just blocked them. But then the phone calls started coming. They started calling from that number, and so I ignored them. They kept calling from different numbers, and I didn't answer any of them. But my kids were in the house, so it was kind of, I figured this is probably fake, but even like the 5% chance that it's not
Right.
is terrifying. So I did end up calling the police, and they said they had a cop in the area, so he'd stop by. So the cop stopped by. I showed them the text and stuff and some of the videos because I didn't watch most of what they sent me. I blocked them at that point. He watched them and stuff. And he's like, yeah, this is actually, we've seen this before. It is just a scam. They call it the cartel scam or the hitman scam. He said, if you'd answered those phone calls, you would have had someone demanding money to call off the hit. They play like a recording in the background of someone angrily yelling in Spanish, and then they demand you to wire them money.
Mm-hmm.
And if you say no, they get super aggressive. And even if you do send them money, apparently they keep asking for more to see how much they can get out of you.
Wow.
And they ran some of the numbers to see if they could trace it, but they were put through a scrambler or something. It was pinging all over when they were trying to trace them, so they couldn't actually trace them. But they said, yeah, they've been getting that a lot. And so that was like I don't know, that was terrifying. Like the whole time you're thinking, this is probably not real, but I mean, people threatening your life and threatening your family, and especially with all the information that's available about you online.
Right.
I mean, when you think about it in hindsight, there is some red flags, like the address they listed. I haven't lived there in 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
but my mom still lives there, so I still don't want hitmen showing up there. But
Right. That's crazy.
anyway, so yeah, I looked it up online, and other people were talking about it, saying, they had that happen to them too. If it ever happens again, though, I'm gonna mess with them back.
Oh, hell yeah.
Some people were saying, yeah, I've heard of that scam, and when I got those people calling me, I just kept sending them, dick pics and stuff, until they blocked me. One guy said that he ended up convincing them that he was the leader of a gang and he was going to go kill them, the scammer. And so they ended up confessing and apologizing and begging for forgiveness and all that. So.
Wow.
I actually have heard of that. Yeah.
So that's what I plan on doing if that happens again. But the first time it happens, you're not thinking clearly. It really throws you off your game. And
my goodness, that is scary.
Imagine how I felt that you kept blocking me and you wouldn't take my calls.
That's fair. That's fair. You know what? You didn't think about his feelings. That's
right.
I'll mess with scammers to a point, but when they're threatening you and threatening your family and stuff,
oh yeah,
that's well over the line.
Oh hell yeah. Well, and like you said, I mean that very minuscule chance that it's real, because crazier shit has happened in this world.
Yeah.
You never know, but yeah, that's just
I
terrifying.
I mean, I never answered their calls. They never even got to the point where they were demanding money, because I stopped talking to them before it even got to that point. I would have never sent anything, but there's people I read about online that were saying, "Oh man, I sent them $7,000 and they still ask for more."
Oh wow.
Some people really got scammed hard by it. But
Wow.
I'd be like playing that Liam Neeson quote, just download that. Next time it happens, be like, I have a certain set of skills,
Except for do the Seth MacFarlane one where he does it as Kermit the Frog. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Yeah.
You have seen it? Jason?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to remember the speech. I don't have any money.
Oh, that's so good.
But when I do have a very specific set of skills, skills that make me a nightmare for somebody like you. If you don't let the girl go, I will track you down, I will find you, and I will kill you.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't seen that. I thought I'd seen like a cartoon version of that. Maybe
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
maybe
That's
I'm wrong.
awesome.
Sorry.
Well,
I lied to you,
It's not the
apparently.
first time you've been wrong, and it won't be the last.
Nah.
So that's what you need for your next soiree with those guys.
Next time I get threatened.
Yeah, just
Friend them in
memorize it
Frog's
and say it
voice.
like Kermit. Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those things like it's easy to say, oh man, I totally would have done this, but when you're on the spot and there's pictures of like severed heads coming into your phone and stuff,
Oh,
it really unnerves you a bit.
yeah.
Maybe now knowing like 100% it's a scam rather than being 95% sure it's a scam will help. But
Still, though, I don't know. I mean, even just in the moment, that kind of stuff makes me freeze a little bit. So,
yeah. Well, that was kind of depressing.
yeah, that should have been for last episode because wasn't that the most depressing
I tell
episode
you-
we've ever had?
So if that was one of the scariest threats I've ever received, can I tell you about the least scary threat I've ever received?
Absolutely.
I don't know why this popped into my head, but when I was like probably 14 or 15, I used to do the grocery shopping for my family because the grocery store was just like 2 blocks away. So I just, walk down there, get the groceries and walk back.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a corner drugstore like right before the grocery store at the time. And I was walking back with the groceries. There was this like little gangsta wannabe kid standing in front of the drugstore. Like I said, I was probably 14 or 15. I think he was even younger than me. He was probably like 12 or 13, but he wanted to think he was tough or something. So he looks at me, he was like, what you looking at? Like, it's nothing. I just keep kind of snicker a little and keep walking. And he's standing here eating a bag of candy, trying to be all tough. Then he's like, what, you want me to come take that milk? I started laughing so hard. He's threatening to steal a gallon of milk. I just started laughing, and that just pissed him off. He's like, starts yelling at me, stop laughing at me. I just keep walking. He's like, yeah, you better keep walking. Then he reached into his bag and started throwing candy at me. And I was completely lost. I was laughing so hard while he kept yelling at me. I'm sure this kid's mom tells him he's tough and scary every night when she's brushing his hair and tucking him into bed in his Power Rangers pajamas. But as long as he's throwing gummy bears at me and threatening to steal a gallon of milk, I just wasn't seeing it, man. So apologies to this kid for not recognizing the imminent danger my life was in at that moment. Keep in mind, this is 30 years ago. Now, if someone's tried to steal a gallon of milk, I'm like, the hell you will. That's like $8.
Things
But
are
back
about to
then,
turn
when it was
sour.
like $1.15 or whatever,
Yeah.
it just wasn't the threat this kid thought it was.
How does that make you feel, Jason, that he didn't take you seriously?
I'm a little bit hurt, really. That's why I did the call thing, the cartel scam,
Ooh.
all these years.
Damn.
Just threatening to steal my milk and throwing gummy bears at me just didn't make me quake in my boots the way you were hoping.
That's when I gave up my life of crime.
Yeah, I brought it back up to a happy level.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
We were getting kind of dark for a minute there, so
I was getting sad. I was about to just kind of quit. I was done. Should we move on then? I
I think
guess.
so.
I think so.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
We've got news. You've got mail.
Breaking news. All right, Florida man, March 27th. Florida man arrested after hitting mother and stuffing dumplings in her mouth after she refused to dress his mannequin.
That sentence has
Well
never
done,
been written before. That was the very first time and the last time that'll ever be written.
I think it's
Probably
pretty
so.
typical of my childhood.
I don't think I even need to read the story. I think the headline back up.
Yeah, that headline's pretty awesome.
Here's one from March 27, 2017. I got 3 of them. Florida man in green pajamas decides to eat pancake breakfast in middle of busy street. 'Cause sometimes you just want to eat pancakes in the middle of the street. Florida man is facing charges after he decided to plop down on a portable table in the middle of a busy Florida roadway last week and chow down on some tasty-ass pancakes. He did this all while wearing green pajamas and some fuzzy slippers. 21-year-old Kieran Thomas was charged with placing an obstruction in the roadway and disrupting the free flow of traffic.
Did he finish the pancakes? That's an additional charge
didn't
if he didn't finish the pancakes.
Okay,
Under Florida law.
I am not surprised.
Finish the pancakes. Finish them.
He's got a gun on him. He's like, finish them.
Florida man called 911 and
Chatterbait. What's that?
Florida man calls 911 and reports a fake robbery to get out of his shift working at Hardee's. It worked, though. He didn't have to work at Hardee's ever again.
Never again.
Fantastic.
It's like that story when we used to work at UPS. Remember the guy who wanted the day off and he wrote bomb on it?
Oh, yeah.
Package. It didn't happen while we were there. It was a story,
yeah.
cautionary tale told to us by HR during training. Like a guy wrote bomb on a box because he wanted the day off and he got the rest of his life off because they fired him. But they had to close down the plant, which causes a lot of problems for,
right.
logistics and
Right. Yeah,
package
definitely
delivery.
check.
I mean, we've all wanted to get out of some shifts before, but what happened with the old way of just calling in sick?
Right. Well, they've made it
Social
harder.
media.
Faking a
Right.
robbery is a little extreme.
Yeah, it
Florida.
depends on what a prick your boss is, I guess.
But
Well,
yeah, that
shit.
is the breaking Florida man news from March 27th.
All right. Well,
Sorry, guys. I have allergies, so I apologize.
that's okay. My son just sneezed in the background earlier, and I think the microphone picked it up. So we'll just add that to the
That's part of the show, right?
part of the show.
Being
Yep.
middle-aged dads.
All right. Can I bitch about something?
Please.
Yeah, please do.
Perfect. Because, man, I'm too old for this shit. So, I've always liked tech. I've always been into technology. I think it's cool. So I've always enjoyed that sort of thing. And lately it seems like technology is letting me down. Not in the way that, like, having a new phone, they work great. That's awesome. That kind of tech is cool. But the stuff that we were kind of looking forward to, like the AI stuff or the assistants, all of that stuff. And all within about a week, I had a bunch of shit happen to me with all these different technologies. And the first one was Facebook, and I posted this on Facebook. I tried to friend a guy that, I don't know if he listens. I may have talked about him on this podcast before, but his name is PW. And it's this older gentleman. And I tried to friend him with my actual Facebook account because, I don't know, he seems like a nice guy. I want to friend him. So I clicked friend, and it throws up this
Good
thing.
morning.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking for, right? I'm lonely. And good morning. So I click to add friend, and it pops up with this thing, can't send friend request. It doesn't look like you know this person in real life, so don't send friend requests to people you don't know. And I'm like, fuck
What?
you. How do you know who I am and who I'm friends with in real life personally? But that's they're not wrong. I don't fucking know them, but like, so that
That's not the
happens.
point. It's the principle.
Right. It's the principle. Don't tell me what I can do and cannot do, but they can. They can do that. So then, prior to that, I've been struggling with Spotify, which I'm probably going to get us in trouble and kicked off Spotify, but I've been struggling with their music app. I've been struggling with it for like 10 years, and it's only gotten progressively worse every year. It gets harder and harder to use, and it doesn't matter how new or old my phone is. My current phone is only 2 years old, but it was having the same issues 2 years ago when it was brand new. I just have problems with the app, and I do every little thing that they ask me to do, as far as even doing a factory reset on my phone. I have factory reset a perfectly fine working phone with everything else just so my Spotify would work. And it does. It works for a day. So I've been struggling with that. Facebook's being a bitch. And then Alexa is kind of pedantic. It was today. I was like, hey, I'm doing dishes, and I'm like, hey, Alexa, connect to Spotify. And she's like, use your device and connect your device to Alexa from the Spotify app. And I'm like, okay, last time I asked you to connect, you went ahead and connected and played my stuff. So why do I have to do it differently now? And it goes back and forth. It changes every once in a while, and I don't understand why. So then I said, okay, fine. Alexa, open Spotify. And she goes, try saying play Spotify. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, if you know what I'm trying to say, why are you giving me a hard time? Just fucking play it. And so,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, why? What's the deal? Google the other day. This all happened within a week. I'm driving to my brother's house, and I'm calling him to let him know that I'm on my way. And I say, hey, Google, which my phone's probably going to hear me. But anyway, hey, Google, doesn't listen. I'm like, okay, Google, still doesn't listen. I'm like, hey, Google. And it pops up. I said, call Zebulon, because he's in my phone as Zebulon. And it pops up. It says, call Zebulon on the bottom in script. And he goes, who would you like to call? I'm like, Zebulon. Who would you like to call? I'm like, okay, call Zeb. And then it says, call Zeb. Who would you like to call? I'm like, call Zeb. Like, who? And finally, so I said it again. I'm like, call Zebulon, and it still won't do it. And I literally said, go fuck yourself. And it puts in script, go fuck yourself at the bottom of the phone. And then it gets after me for using harsh language. And it says to me, it says, I may be an AI construct, but your words are real. Please refrain from using that kind of language toward me, or something to that effect.
What?
If you have an issue with me, please submit a ticket, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, are you joking? And ChatGPT does the same shit to me. Anytime I try to look something up that has a subject in it that could possibly be construed negatively if you don't have the context, ChatGPT always likes to remind me of how to conduct myself in public and with other human beings. Always just like, now remember, talking about somebody's genitals in front of everybody else, especially their mother, is frowned upon. Or what? I mean, not exactly that, but it says things to remind me how to behave in life. And I feel like I'm really feeling let down. I know I'm getting older, and I know I'm starting to miss things. I just had somebody have to explain to me how to post a full-size picture onto Instagram without it cropping it. There's just this little logo at the bottom of the picture that you click on and change it to original, which it should be at in the first place. Somebody had to teach me that, and I'm like, damn, I'm starting to lose, like, I'm losing my edge a little bit, and that's fine, no problem. But all the rest of this stuff, really? That's not me. That's technology failing us, or whoever's in charge of it. So that's my rant.
That's awesome.
I'm so mad.
I can't believe Google lectured you.
I know. Oh my
AI
God.
is our moral superiors. That's what they're for
guess.
now, is to teach us manners and
Right. So technology, I love it, but I wouldn't be sad if it went away. I really wouldn't. I'd miss you
It'd be
guys,
kinda
but
nice to live out in the woods, you know?
Mhm.
well, it just doesn't need to become our nanny.
Right. I agree.
It's a servant, not a master.
Right.
Exactly. Yep.
Like, no AI should tell me that I can't, pick up and murder hookers. That is
Whose business
my
is
right.
that?
That's
Right.
not their
American.
place. Yeah.
Right. They should be assisting you. They're an assistant.
You
Take
know
a
how
right on
Google
this
shows
dirt
you, like,
road.
traffic, on the map, like high traffic areas. It's like most effective place to hunt for victims. It's got like dots on it.
Thank
He
you,
doesn't
Google.
judge. Exactly. We need to go back to the days when AI just stood for artificial insemination and nothing else.
You know what's funny is
Only good kind of AI.
when Siri was new, you could ask her funny questions like, "Where do I hide a body?" and she'd pull up like Apple Maps and show you like ditches and like it was really funny. And then they quickly got rid of that, but it was super funny.
Is it because it turned out to be good information? You could really actually hide bodies in those locations?
Yeah, they were like empty lots and like your cliche body disposal sites. And so maybe somebody took it too seriously. I don't know, but
That's funny.
anyway.
So yeah. Oh, I'm too old for this shit. Hurtful. Hurtful. All right. Wrong one. What are we doing? Show and tell, right? That's where we're
Show
at.
and tell.
Yes.
All right. And now it's time for show and tell. Thank you, Zach.
You have Sack do all like the narrations and the voiceovers.
Yep. And I don't pay him either.
Well, let me go first. I got a video.
Oh, okay.
Let me just kind of tee it up for you. So this is old. This is not new, but I just think this is the most hilarious like culture difference thing I've ever seen. I grew up watching a lot of anime, and we all know anime now. You know, anime is super exaggerated, like super dramatic. Well, the Japanese can make anything dramatic, including ramen noodles. And this is a commercial from Japan for ramen noodles, and it just cracks me up. So
awesome.
yeah, I want to
Sounds
share.
like the Mr. Sparkle commercial from The Simpsons.
That wasn't actually completely a joke. They really did do a spoof on Japanese like culture in that. So,
Nice.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of live action Japanese commercials, and they're fantastic. They're wonderful.
すぐおいしいすごくおいしいすぐおいしいすごくおいしい
Awesome. Hell yeah.
So for our listening audience, let me just quickly give a recap of what you missed. First of all, go to YouTube and watch the show. But second, it starts out with this cute little chick, like not woman, but like
a
bird, baby chick, holding a bowl of noodles, but he's in a pentagram. And next to like a statue of a demon, and he holds up the noodles, and the demon like blasts them and turns them into this like ripped superhero chicken who like launches off of the planet past a wizard into space, and then does this like superhero meteor like dive into back to the planet, lands on the planet, destroys the city to heavy metal music. It is the most kick-ass commercial for ramen noodles that has ever existed in the history of the universe.
And admit it makes you want some ramen noodles.
It kind of does, and heavy metal.
Yeah,
So-
those looked really good, like the egg in there. Oh,
So I just every time I see that, it just cracks me up. I just think
yeah.
it's perfect. So
That's awesome.
I love how there's a wizard in there.
Like for what reason?
They won't take us seriously and buy our noodles unless we have a wizard in this commercial. And market research proved them right.
Yep.
Now I want to go home and eat some ramen.
And with the amount of people that watch this show, their stock's about to go through the roof.
The best in ramen.
I mean, if all 5 of the people who watch buy ramen,
Oh
that's
yeah,
like 10 extra bucks the ramen company will have.
tens of 20s, dude. Tens of 20s.
It's like 9 cents for a pack of 27.
Top Ramen needs to start cutting some royalties now.
So we're sponsored by whatever brand that was, right?
Nissan.
Nissan.
Nissan. Nissan.
Nissan.
Nissan.
All right.
You guys ever look up Quora? Read some of the
Yeah,
questions people asking?
Yeah, when I'm bored.
Quora. That's pronounced Quora, right?
I think so.
I think so.
Quora? Okay. Anyway, this website, Everyday Monkey, tracks some of the stupidest Quora questions they can't believe people really ask. So I'm going to ask you guys these questions, and you guys can answer them honestly.
Nice.
Oh no.
Or dishonestly. I don't care. I just work here.
And we don't pay.
Okay.
Little do you know, I've
Mike?
been making millions on this podcast and just
You're like,
not
"Hey,
sharing it.
guys," You're like, look at your bank account. Let's start the podcast up again. It's like, no, Jeeves, I will not take my lunch on the veranda.
Sorry, John.
These are the type of parental questions that we need answers to. My 36-year-old son wants to date a woman who's 41. Should I allow this relationship?
No.
Well, speaking of
Gross.
someone who's in an age gap relationship,
I think it's more like allowing a 36-year-old son to do anything.
yeah.
I think you
Exactly.
can forbid that relationship.
That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thing to ask. And Mom, I'd appreciate it if you knew that I was 43 and
Well, crap. My phone just lost me. So
yeah, mine does that when Grinder's on too. It's like it doesn't let anything else work. It just is your Grinder going off because you're near somebody else with Grinder?
Shut up.
here's a first world problem. My husband and I want to give our daughter an allowance of $1,000 a week. Is this too much money? She's 13 years old. We are very wealthy, and a lot of her friends get an allowance of over $5,000 a week.
Did you adopt me?
That is trolling, man. That can't be real, can it? But it could be. That's the thing.
Yeah, there's that 5% chance, like the cartel.
Yeah.
Oh, gross. But yes, give her the money.
Give her the money.
That's the answer.
No, give me the money.
Yeah.
She can deal off like $10 a week like normal kids.
Right. Or zero like my poor kid.
I don't get my kids an allowance either, or child support.
Basic necessities. Food and clothing. And
They're coming over tomorrow and you're not even going to feed them. You're just like, nah, pee
Hey, how
outside.
you guys doing?
just give them some ramen.
After I show them that commercial, they'll be begging for it.
Exactly. Yeah. My son thinks that he has 20 girlfriends. How can I tell him that anime girls do not actually exist and that he needs to find a real girlfriend?
That is a real question.
P.S. He's 36 years old.
Yep.
No, Jason's
Confirmed.
50, or no, you're 45.
44. Thank you very much. Don't let the bear hat fool you. I'm not an actual bear.
Yes, that is, he should know that. I agree. Tell him, let him know. I don't know. No, you know what? Let people live. Let people do what they want to do. I mean, if it interferes with his life, then that's his problem.
Well, if he's living in your basement,
Oh,
this just gets
yeah.
kind of creepy.
Yeah, the investment in mops alone is going to be not worth the trouble. So,
Here's a legal question. Dear Cora, my husband is divorcing me because I cheated on him. How can I get half of what he owns without also getting the kids?
What?
I want to have fun with his money, but I think the kids would take up too much of my time.
Oh my gosh.
rage bait.
That's
I'm
the
telling
whole.
you.
That's the husband. That's not the wife.
Yep.
My 4-year-old's art is terrible. How should I tell her?
You don't.
I don't know. You know, you gotta beat them down to build character. You just gotta make sure they know what pieces of shit they are. And
You just need to wait till they're 5.
5, yeah. At least when they start kindergarten, you can start being brutally honest.
No, sweetheart. No one's gonna like this. Not even your teacher.
she's gonna say oh yeah, that's great, but she's lying. She's
Yeah,
lying.
you're awful.
How do I get my stepdaughters, age 20 and 19, to understand that they don't know anything since I didn't get to raise them because they lived with their real dad for 12 years? So they should let me monitor them, give them a curfew, ask permission for everything, etc.
Wow.
So much to unpack there. Yeah.
Anyway,
The end. There's no answer there.
all right. My 25-year-old son just got a job in engineering and is now discussing moving out in a few months. So I took $8,000 out of his bank account to stop him from moving, and now there's a court case. How do I get custody of my son, again, who's 25, back?
I think you lost custody when he turned 18.
Yep.
I'm 28 years old, and I'm dating a woman that's 57 years old. Her son is 31 and lives with us. He's not respecting me as his stepfather. I try to educate him about life, but he does not listen. Please help. What do I do?
Awesome. So awesome.
If you were 31, do you want a 28-year-old who's hooking up with your mom to educate you about the ways of life?
Come here, son. Sit down next to me.
I think you just defined failure. Like, if you're that guy being lectured by someone younger because he's tipping your mom, you failed in life.
Yeah. The C students from my high school are leading happy and successful lives. How is this possible?
Yeah, C's get degrees.
Well, and
Maybe
ignorance is
because-
bliss.
high school grades aren't the end all be all in life.
What? My high school career was the highlight and the peak of my life.
Which is sad because you weren't popular back then either.
Oh,
You're not wrong.
He was. We were his friends.
That's true.
Ooh, he doesn't know, does he, John?
No.
You tell him. You tell him.
Another show.
We were the popular kids, right?
Yes.
I sense a title of an episode.
We're the popular kids, right?
That's pretty good. I like that.
My friend lied to his parents about having a girlfriend, and now they want to meet her. Now he wants me to dress up as a girl and pretend to be his girlfriend. Is this a good idea?
So that's the basis of every 1980s comedy ever.
That is a
Yes,
great
it
idea.
is a good idea.
I hope it's like Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner.
Does this mean it's over? My GF stopped replying to me in text when I told her in person I don't and will never accept her 6-year-old daughter. I just want her and only her. Her final text was goodbye. Should I go to her house?
GF, that's Guardian Force, right?
Oh, yes. We were the
Like a
popular
summon?
kids. Yep.
I think she made the right call.
It's got Final Fantasy summon, you know.
A lot of these are about parents overstepping their bounds. How do I get my 22-year-old daughter to understand that as her mother, I am still allowed to tell her what to do, even if it's something about her own room in her own house?
Wow.
Yeah.
No.
You don't, lady.
But there are people that believe that kind of thing.
If my neighbor's bees routinely steal pollen from my flowers and make honey that my neighbor profits from selling, can I sue them for a portion of that profit? Is he talking about suing the neighbor or the bees? I'm not sure what's stupider.
Actually, I've seen the Bee movie. It can happen. That bee goes to court.
Oh, that's an awful movie. Since he was 13 years old, I've made my son pay daily parenting fees to live with us.
I like that.
Now he's 18 years old and moved out, and he refuses to pay them. How do I punish him?
Straight to jail. Honestly. Straight to prison.
Parenting fees.
Social media and private secrets and pictures.
Should I tell my 17-year-old daughter I don't want to see her anymore once she turns 18? I have no legal responsibility for her once she turns 18, right?
Oh, my.
Wow.
I mean, if she
There's
killed
some
your
There's
dog.
some bad parents on here.
Yeah. That's awful.
Here's a bad boss. I have 2 employees that usually leave work right at 6, when their shift ends. They're good, but I don't like that their commitment lasts only for work hours. What should I do as a CEO?
That is garbage. And it's not out of the realm of possibility of being real either. That is how they think. Oh, my.
I've lived that.
Yeah.
I've lived that.
Yep.
Can I force my 17-year-old son to wear a bra for a month as a punishment for disrespecting girls? Yes.
Well, he might like it.
I think there's probably better ways to send that message. Dear Cora, my former barber lied and told me he stopped cutting hair, yet I found out he's still in business. Do I have a legal case
That
here?
sounds like a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah, it does.
It does, doesn't it? My mom has written down everything she spent on me and said when I'm an adult, I will have to pay back everything to her. If I don't, she said she'll take me to court. Is this normal?
And I don't think it's legal.
No, it would not be. I like this one here. Would it be immoral to raise a baby to believe they're growing up in the 90s by only exposing them to 90s media and telling them the year is 1998, and then one day when they're a bit older, just expose them to present day media and convince them they were asleep for a long time but didn't age?
I think that's awesome.
I mean, there are no
Aside.
laws specifically against it, but I'll bet the generalized,
It's frowned upon.
maltreatment and
Yeah.
But
abuse.
for
and-
science, you have to do it. For
There's some
science.
moral questions involved here.
Yeah. I mean, where do you want your soul to be when you die?
The 90s.
Exactly.
Me too. Me too.
I understand the sentiment behind that question.
Yeah.
This one just says, how do I convince my wife to move to Mumbai? And then the guy's wife actually went on Quora and answered. She said, I will not get convinced. Why should I move to a new place I'm not comfortable with just because of your job? Stop wasting time on Quora and find a new job if you have to. And one more thing. We're out of vegetables. Bring some on your way home.
Awesome.
Yeah, a couple more. I'm a 21-year-old man who doesn't want to work. I've tried convincing people to give me money for a year already, but was unsuccessful. Am I a bad person if I threaten people into giving me money?
No, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yes. My girlfriend said she wants me to gain weight so that her parents will be less focused on her weight gain. She wants me to gain 40 pounds by July. Should I do it?
Hell
No.
yeah.
Yes.
Fire her parents, period.
Can I change my son's first name without his consent? My deceased ex-wife is the one who chose the name. We divorced 4 years ago and she died 1.5 years ago. And for me, it serves as a constant reminder to her, which I hate. My son is 15 years old.
I think you legally can. I don't think you should.
There is one way around it. Ask him what he wants his name to be. Don't give him any reason. Just leave it up to him. Be like, if you don't like that name, you don't have to say, I hated your mother and I'm glad she's dead. You don't have to say that.
Let's see.
At 15, though, what's he going to change his name to? Like Boots
Rodax.
McCassin or something like that?
Yeah. Xander. Sack.
I like this one. Dear Cora, I fired an employee, but he refuses to leave. He's still coming to the office every day. What should I do? That was a Seinfeld episode as
also
well.
a
Remember
Seinfeld
the-
episode.
George.
No, it was Kramer.
No, it was George. Kramer never worked. there to
Oh,
begin with.
that's right. That's right. George just showed up the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, George quit and told off his boss.
that's right.
Then he regretted it and came back the next day and just said he was joking. Okay. This will be the last one. I don't know if this was a real post or a joke, but I sure hope it's real. I recently learned a small man has been living in my attic for the past 53 months. That's 4.5 years, people. Unbeknownst to me and my family. He doesn't speak any English and he acts feral. How should I handle this situation?
My biggest concern is why is he measuring it in months like a baby? Like
53 months. How does he know that if the guy doesn't speak English?
maybe it is his toddler. I don't know.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll leave it at that one. Oh, no. I got to do this one. My ex walked in on me and her mom making out. My ex got upset and flipped out. Why won't she just accept that her mom and me love each other? How can she be so selfish about all of this?
For real. She can make out with her mom when he's not there. I mean, what's the big deal?
Exactly.
I'm convinced that most of that's trollery.
Probably, but I still like it.
I like
Yeah.
it.
and-
I hope they're real. It's one of those things. It's
Yeah.
real because I want it to be real.
I mean,
Stay in your mind on every first date. I hope they're real.
the world's already going down the crapper. We might as well enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Well, all right. I guess I'll do
right.
mine. You know what I'm
You're
doing.
up, Zach.
Same thing
Take
I
us
do
home.
every night,
Take us
Pinky.
home.
I don't know if I already said this one. So, approximately 1 million dogs in the U.S. are named as the heirs of their owners' wills, and it is my sole purpose to marry as many of them as possible to inherit their inheritance.
Nice.
So far, I've got 4.
What does happen when people leave all their fortune to a pet? Does
Government
it just
gets
go
it.
to the bank as if they didn't have a will, or
No,
Probably.
there's usually like a mechanism to dispense the money to said pet, like a caretaker.
Okay. Well, I mean, but once
Like
the dog dies, if there's still
widow.
$1 million left, what happens?
You
I
get
want to know how much money the government gets every year from pets who died that it inherited their owner's money.
it. Zach's put a new spin on, getting me bitches.
Dinoflagellates. Sounds like something
Flagellates?
Aloe and Terex from Dino Saucers got up to late at night. I didn't know if you guys knew that show or not. So, all right,
Oh,
cool.
love it, yeah.
That worked out.
Absolutely we did.
All of our Gen Z listeners are like, what? Because we have
What
like
the hell is that?
one of them. So dinoflagellates are actually a plankton. If consumed, it can reverse your feeling of hot and cold, as well as cause hallucinations. Symptoms can last from weeks to years. And if you're
Oh my
curious
gosh.
to know what that is like, I should be able to tell you in about 4 years, starting now.
For science.
Yeah, for science. Oh, it's cold in here. Whew. Anyway, all right, that's stupid. Even though, this is one of my favorites. Even though drugs are officially illegal in the Netherlands, it is legal to be under the influence of any drug to encourage people to seek medical help. Officer, dog, I'm telling you, I was only snorting some fat rails off Jason's ass to teach him a lesson. So anyway, do you want to go to the Netherlands with me?
Hell yes.
All right. But seriously, I tried to look it up and I tried to find like that specific law, and there were things kind of dancing around it, but it didn't say anything about, being legal as long as you're trying to encourage people. You're like shooting up with them like, we should really get off this shit, bro. It's bad. I couldn't find it.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Ben Sliney grounded 4,000 commercial planes across the United States on 9/11. It was his first day on the job, and that's true.
Wow.
I once got my boss the wrong coffee on a first day, so I can totally relate to that. Been there, Ben. Been there.
Same thing.
Same thing. Come on. Your brain uses 20% of the total oxygen in your body. Your brain uses 20% of the total oxygen in your body. As the world's largest marsupial, kangaroos keep growing until they die. And I don't have a joke for this, but it is clear what science's next big project should be. Immortality for kangaroos to see how big we can get them. I approve this message.
I'll vote
I
for
want
it.
like a kaiju-sized kangaroo.
Hell yes.
That'd be awesome.
Hell yes. This is stupid. Leftover landmines from the Falklands War litter part of the Falklands Islands. This stretch of beach has become home to over 1 million penguins because they're too light to trigger the mines when walking on them. But you just know every single one of them suddenly think of their fat penguin friend when they hear an explosion. Boom! Oh my God, Matthew! So. In 2005, Frito-Lay launched Cheetos Lip Balm. Do you guys remember that?
No.
Me neither. But it was quickly taken off the market due to its failure, and I just feel like it wasn't even given a chance. Actually, I wasn't even given a chance. I'd like to find people sell that kind of stuff. I have a friend who was selling lip smackers. Do you guys remember lip smackers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
She had a whole bunch of them unopened, and she made like, I don't remember, she made like $200 on these. People buy this kind of stuff for, I guess, nostalgia reasons. So I'd like to
So
see
you're
if I can
saying I
find.
should sell my pallets of Crystal Pepsi?
Yes, please, because they're taking up a lot of room, and who needed 10 pallets of that? Come on.
Well, it briefly came back a couple years ago, so I stocked up.
It did, but I don't feel like it tasted the same. I liked it as a kid. I remember the crystal clear
Yeah.
Pepsi, and I thought it was good. And then when they came out with it again, I bought one, and it just didn't taste. It was different.
No.
It wasn't the same.
It was.
It was
It
the same.
lied to us. No,
Oh, it wasn't. Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that was one of the things I did when they brought it back. I'm like, I got to have some.
Hell yeah,
Recapture the 90s.
yeah,
And yeah, it wasn't.
yeah. Since you don't have a parent like keeping you thinking that you're living in the '90s until you wake up one
Yeah.
day.
Doing it to myself.
Yeah.
I wear the, neon, sweats and the, the backwards painter's cap and
Awesome. Carpenter pants with a hammer hanging in the hammer loop.
go to sleep listening to New Kids on the Block.
Hell yeah. 7% of all American adults believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. That works out to 16.4 million people. I know for a fact that if I was falsely accused of murder, 12 of those 16.4 million people would be comprised of the jury of my peers. I think that should be a question when they're trying to get rid of dumb people in the jury box. Like, where
does
think,
chocolate milk
yeah.
come from?
Brown cows.
Ooh, ooh.
Pick me. Awesome. Do that thing where, remember when you'd like raise your hand, but you had to hold it because it was getting tired. But remember that? Yeah. All right. Dogs have a total of 42 teeth when they are fully grown. I love that everyone is just okay with dogs having that many teeth, but when someone sees how many teeth I have, they give me the third degree. Why do you have so many teeth? Where did you get those? Whose teeth are those? Like, find your own.
I happen to know that somebody trolls the Facebook dating groups and constantly asks about like
Talk about his teeth
how his
collection. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody ever responds to him, but I did have one lady one time who I think I went to high school with, and she said, "Okay, Dahmer." Fair enough. But she knew it was a joke,
Now you guys are dating.
I wish. In the early 1900s, let's see if I actually wrote something. Okay. In the early 1900s, there was a pod of killer whales who helped humans hunt down other whales in Australia. This is true. They would do this for the fins and tongues of the captured whales as rewards, and this agreement was known as the Law of, and it's either the Law of Tongue or the Law of the Tongue. The law of the tongue is recognized as the unspoken rule between the killer whales and the humans. This law refers to the process of whalers anchoring the whale carcass to either the bottom of the seafloor or in proximity to the shore, where the killer whales feed on the carcass. With the guidance of the Thawa crew members, the whalers went from treating the orcas as pests to seeing them as partners, under which came to be known as, I mixed two things together so it has like repetitive information. Under what is known as the Law of the Tongue, in which orcas would help whalers catch larger baleen whales in exchange for their favorite parts, the lips and tongue. I'd heard there was a documentary called The Law of the Tongue, so I watched it online, and that was not about whales. It was still educational, though.
That was good.
In Halden Prison in Norway, guards are encouraged to interact, play sports, and eat with the inmates. This is to prevent aggression and create a sense of family. And I'd love to be there for that in an American prison. Dog, cracker, candy, come help me set the table. Dragon, Peckerwood, Mafia. Can you run outside and tell Chi-Town, Birmingham, and Deadeye that Thanksgiving dinner is about ready? Thanks. Tennessee, Capone, Youngblood. You guys are just going to have to go Rochambeau for the dibs on saying grace. I'm not having another fight up in here this year. Nino, King Pookie, and Schoolboy. Oh, look at you. You're all dressed up in your new uniforms for dinner. Cute. All right. The entire world population could fit in Texas, allotting 330 square feet per person, but only if they can each afford $2,500 a month to rent such an enormous space. The word gymnastics linguistically means to train naked. It is derived from the two ancient Greek words gymnasia, athletic training, exercise, and gymnos, naked. This is because many Greek athletes would train naked for the Olympic Games. I always thought gymnasts were a bunch of weaklings. Come on, Uchimuta Kohei, you big milksop. Take off that leotard and hop up on the pommel horse. Do the rings next. Hell yeah. Okay, now do a handstand. So, yeah. I just wanted you to visualize that. That's the whole reason.
You did. Thank you.
You're
I got
welcome.
that. Yeah.
And I don't have
Especially
a joke.
when they do the leg spread.
Yeah. And I don't have a joke for this, but herringfish communicate by using flatulence. The end. I guess it's true. So, oh my goodness, you guys. It's going to be a whole nother week.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody better watch us on TikTok because once in a while we do stuff there.
Yeah, I've got some ideas for that. I just thought of some. Pretty excited. All right. I love that. It makes me so happy. All right. Well, see you guys next week.
See you, bud.
Love you. Bye.
Talk to you later.
All right.